I should probably make my way back to Acheron. It was almost midnight. He'd almost won. Rayo was sure to appear, so I wanted to be there. I needed to get to Terra and end this for good. I didn't run into just anybody on my way back. Perhaps they branched out in search of food. For a moment, I wondered where Jade was. Acheron didn't mention her. She must be with Singe. Maybe Rayo would know what happened to me earlier. If he was giving up the Ark, I need answers now. There's a chance I might never see him again. I turn a few corners and arrive back where I started. I take a deep breath before I enter the room. This might be my final opportunity to get some answers. When I enter the room, I see Acheron standing there. He's staring at a pocket watch, counting down the time. All of his hard work was about to bear fruit. He turns around and gives a wide smirk. As midnight approached, it was clear that he'd won. It's hard to believe this is all coming to a close. So this is it, huh? Take down the corrupt leader of Armstrong, become the ruler of both life and death. On a day's work, it would seem. He laughs, like it was all so easy. Maybe it was, at least to him. He's one of the smartest men I've ever met. Or would cunning be a better word? Well, I'm sure that many words would describe this man. But soon enough, he'd be the Ark's new master. At least, he'd be more open with me than the last one. Just under a minute now. I'd love to see the look on Max's face. And if it wasn't karma, it was me. This is a long lesson in the making. This is a lesson long in the making. Hear about killing to seize power? Death is not always the answer. She bastardized our parents' tenets. Progression through protection. They'd be ashamed of her rulership. Max in the Ark would be a disaster. Her philosophy is proof of that. She'd usher in a new dark age. I didn't do this just for me. I did it to save the world from suffering. You could say I'm a savior too. I'll do what my parents always wanted. I'll make this world a better place. A place where I'm proud to be an Armstrong. Looks at the pocket watch one more time. I can tell by the look on his face that we're close. Time to see if this was worth fighting for. Press my back against the wall and ready myself. I've experienced this enough to know what it feels like. Acheron remained still, standing tall and proud. I guess in his mind he had nothing left to fear. I scream out in agony and clutch my chest. I expect to feel the pain, but it's still so much. I'm in disbelief that Acheron is unaffected. He stands there, fists clenched, panting heavily. How could he withstand so much pain? I look at his eyes and spot a faint glisten. Perhaps it would be best if I do what he did. I stand up straight and focus on my breathing. We stand there, united, both waiting for Rayo. I feed off his energy until I no longer feel suffering. There's Rayo. Congratulations, Acheron, you've won. He turns to me and smiles softly. And it's nice to see you, Devon. I knew you wouldn't be too far behind. Acheron and I exchange glances as if in waiting. So, what happens next? I'm sure there's lots to teach me. That would be an understatement. We will have lots to talk about together. But I have to talk to Devon as well. Do you think we could go back to the Ark? I feel safer discussing things there. And I'd like to see my home one last time. Look at Acheron and he nods. I see no problem granting Rayo his request. It's not like things would be any different than normal. Thank you very much. Note that this time he asked for permission. Definitely different than the Rayo I first met. It was nice to know that we'd finally had a say in things. Almost like we completed some rite of passage. I have a question though. One last thing before we go. Of course, what is it? You can see a lot from the Ark, right? You have a grasp on what we're all doing? If you're observant enough, yeah. It's a skill that you hone in time. Do you know what happened to Max? And if Singe and Daz are safe? Rest assured, your plan succeeded. That's why I'm visiting you now. Max is behind bars, everyone is safe. Good. Let's hope she doesn't escape. Are you taking the power away from her? I think I'll let her keep it, actually. What? She'll be in prison for her whole life. All it would do is elongate her sentence. I doubt she'll make use of it all. Besides, control of time means nothing, especially when you're a prisoner. I know that feeling all too well. So you can use the power to try and escape, but only drive her insane. Freedom will always be just out of reach. I wouldn't worry too much about her. She's useless where she is. That's probably what you wanted anyway. Acheron nods, showing no facial expression. I'm unsure how he's taking this information, but if I could guess, I'm sure he was happy. Well then, shall we go? I can't suspend places for long, remember? And you don't want to be trapped like this. We all agree and narrate our travel to the Ark. But I tell Rayo that I want answers too. I was more than a little confused at recent events. Yes, of course you could answer us. There's nothing left for me to hold back. All our plans have come to fruition. What does that mean? What does he mean by our plans? Was he playing at something too? Both of you close your eyes. When you open them, you'll witness change. And the gears will make their final turn. And I close my eyes and keep them tightly shut. It isn't long before we're taken to the Ark. I don't even have to open my eyes, I know the feeling. And it's almost like this place was my second home. But if everything was truly come to an end, this might be the last chance I get to see it. I have to make sure that I leave with satisfaction. The true nature of everything had to be revealed. I take a deep breath before I open my eyes. Welcome to your new home, Acheron. At least now I can say goodbye. Devon too. It is our last time here. Excuse me. He gestured broadly as the vast space surrounding us. So many memories. I hope you'll create some good ones too. You have a lot of responsibility here. Ready for this burden, Rayo. Let's start with bringing some people back. There were those who didn't need to die. Of course, but not so fast. I have to teach you how things work. Otherwise, you'd only cause damage. The Ark is a very intricate machine. It requires focus and resolve, in quantities you can't even imagine. I see. So what do we do first? There's no need to hesitate any further. Is Acheron getting impatient? I don't think I've seen him like this before. I can't blame him though if his goal is so close. Don't worry, we'll begin soon. I need to talk to Devon first. His journey is coming to an end. You claimed your victory, Acheron. You've seized your destiny. Devon still needs to do so. I understand. The Savior's duty is not yet complete. What exactly is that duty? I have reason to believe it affects me. The Ark may even be at stake. I don't want my rule be cut short, Rayo. No need to worry, it won't be. The force of death can never be defeated. There will always be an Ark in place. And as such, it will always need a ruler. You won't be going anywhere anytime soon. You're here for the long haul, Acheron. But as for the nature of Devon's task, I'm afraid I don't even know that much. There's only one person who does. And that's who I'll be sending him to. I'd relax while you can, Acheron. After that, I'll have to teach you everything. Very well, take your time. I won't intrude, I'll just wait around. Hey, don't be so hasty. There is something I can give you. It might help you pass the time. My sight. Rio snaps his fingers and Acheron grunts in pain. He stumbles back, his eyes shooting wide open. What is this? I can't see anything, Rio. He starts panicking, looking around frantically. On the contrary, you can see everything. You're just taking in a lot of information. Relax, and let it flow at a normal pace. Use it to watch over those you love. I won't be too long with Devon. When I get back, I'll give you more. I can see so many people. But wait, this isn't Earth. What am I looking at, Rio? You must be watching over Terra. Perhaps you desire something there. Don't worry, it fluctuates at first. Enjoy the view, Acheron. I won't keep you waiting too long. Prepare for some rigorous training. He smirks at me as Acheron slowly fades away. I don't know where he went, but we're alone now. Perhaps it was my chance to get some final answers. I'm sorry for the dishonesty I've given you. You deserve the truth from now on. And that's exactly what you'll get. After we're done talking, I'll go back. Acheron has to go through lots of training. I need to feel comfortable when I leave. I just didn't want him listening in. This started between the two of us. It's only fitting that it ends that way. Gives me a warm smile before he continues. I see you've met Nami and Nagi. They're a force of pure evil, as well as the start of my story. They might seem relatively new to you, but for me, it's been quite a while. Let me show you how I can explain things. Everything I've done, I did to help you, including my surrender of the Ark. It was the last thing I wanted to do. There is great power within you, as both Velasquez and Nagi have stated, power enough to deliver salvation. Or destruction, if put in the wrong hands. That is what Nami and Nagi strive for. And to be honest, they almost had it. The moment Nagi drove his blade into you, a massive burst of energy was released, and made even my powers look infantile. They sought to harness the power within you, likely to achieve some nefarious goal. Destruction of an infinite scope, I'd wager. Most people wouldn't be able to do this, but they possess a special set of weapons, or does it allow them to use this energy? What is this energy, you ask? That's something I can't tell you. Velasquez will have to explain it. Regardless of that, it was unleashed. For a moment, they had won. They could achieve anything they wanted. At least, that's what they thought. They were unaware of my existence. Velasquez hid me here for a reason. The power spread like a huge wave, and had potential to span the entire galaxy. But the first place it touched was here. I felt it within me. I was in awe of how strong it was. How could one person house its power? But I had to snap back to reality. They weren't unleashing it peacefully. I had to do something to help. When it reached me, I tapped into it. The powers it gave me were godlike. But I wouldn't be blinded like them. I couldn't have our universe destroyed. Extremely counterproductive, if you ask me. So I did what I was best at doing. It amplified my ability to play with time. I was able to suspend all of Terra. A temporary fix, but a fix nonetheless. The wave of destruction came to a halt. But I had to formulate a plan. I couldn't keep Terra frozen forever. I need to save all of you from Nagi, but I couldn't do that in suspension. I'm limited with my physical interactions. I realized I need to leave the Ark, not temporarily, but for good. And I'd take a sliver of my power with me, enough to buy a few hours at least. Your wounds needed tending to, and you all had to get to safety. Normally leaving the Ark is impossible, but with this amplified power I could. I just needed to find a fitting ruler. Now I'm getting a tad ahead of myself. I didn't want to force this duty upon you, so I sent you back. I gave you a choice. Explains why I ended up in the supermarket right after. Explains one of those burning questions in my mind. I knew you wouldn't back down. You're not that kind of person, but it wouldn't be right to assume. I'm glad you agreed to partake, Devon. It meant my plan was free to move forward. Watch you and find myself a new ruler. I picked Acheron and Max, of course. I let them battle for a spot in the Ark. I'm sure you know how that ended up. I wish I didn't have to give up the Ark. I rather like it here, I really do. But it was necessary to protect you. I have to say, Acheron is resourceful. He used this contact to set up his sister, expose her as corrupt and put her in jail. Using the warp tour as a front, no less. I was honored to witness such genius. I knew that the Ark had a worthy ruler. So there you have it, my game plan. You used your power to freeze Terra. I gave you a choice and held a contest. Acheron used this contest to his advantage. He achieved his own goal and won the Ark. Free of ownership, I can now go to Terra. I'll save you and your friends from Nagi. And then you can journey right to Velasquez. I'll hope your journey come to an end. What? I know it's all confusing, isn't it? The timelines don't exactly add up. I mean, what was the inciting incident? Was it you getting stabbed by Nagi? Or was it you winning the contest? It seemed to happen simultaneously. They couldn't happen without each other. One required the other and vice versa. I debated it for a long time myself. But I've realized that I'll never know. I could never comprehend this power, nor the scope of what it could accomplish. I mean, why a pop idol's world tour? It seemed like a peculiar venue, but I only recreated what I knew. That's where it gets interesting. Does it mean that I created it to begin with? A self-fulfilling prophecy, so to speak? I'll probably never know. Let me see what else I need to tell you. I have to make sure I don't hold back. He tilts his head up and ponders. My mind is still trying to process all of this. This all happened because Nagi stabbed me? The world tour, the contest, the killings? All of it was to help Rayo break free? He wanted a chance to save us from Nami and Nagi? The final use of his power would be spent on all of us? I can't believe he's been hiding this the whole time. Oh, of course, one more thing. Something that may or not be a shock. Terra holds the souls of the dead. So there never really was a ritual. It was just to test their loyalty. I sent over whoever Max killed that night. They handed these people over to Claire, and as we've seen, they're all free now. They're likely alive and well on Terra. Even Endymion and Conrad were resourceful. They used this contest in their own way, to gain Claire's trust and then take him down. Everybody so far has achieved their goals. That is, except for you, Devon. You must pay one last visit to Terra. Velasquez will tell you everything, and you can finally become the savior. This is what you were meant to do. Perhaps you can bring back the lost. If I could turn back time with your power, I can't even imagine what you're capable of. Everything that's happened so far? It was all to save you from Nagi's blade. In that instant, it all came together. All the anger, the hate, the sorrow, the face of those who didn't make it, they paved the path to this very moment. Terra still remains in stasis. I'm going to rescue you, Devin. You, and all of your friends. It's time for you to save Terra. Don't let all of this sacrifice be in vain. That's the only thing I want to return. Please, live out your duty as a savior. The lives of so many rest on your soldiers. I watched what happened in the bunker. Some of your friends opened up to you, but their stories are in no way unique. Everybody has a story of their own, but without you they will end. Please, help all of them continue. He starts fading away and I reach out to him. You know, I'm going to miss it here. I forgot what this place looked like, but then I gave Acheron my sight. It's beautiful, isn't it? He smiles at me and fades away even more. And for the first time, I got to see you. Now I know what our savior looks like. And he looks like hope. Before I know it, he's gone, off to save me and complete his mission. The mission he's been waiting so long to complete. A quest to save the Savior. And next thing I know, I'm back here. Rio must have sent me away after our little chat. But for one thing, I feel none of the inertia. That means I'm not going to Terra, but... Rook. Oh, hi, Rook. I thought you were dead. Sorry, I had to get a sip of coffee. Well, looks like you're screwed. Saving the world with something like that? Good luck, I'll say you'll need it. I'm taken aback by Rook's sudden appearance. But after seeing Rocker here, it's not so odd. And he seems to know all about what Rayo said. So he must have been seeing things from my eyes too. Rayo said Terra houses the souls of the dead. If that was the case, then why was Rook here? So there's probably something Velasquez would tell me. But if everything works out, I suggest you save me too. I'm no use to anyone when I'm dead. And thanks for that anyway. I guess you were close to Kyla or whatever. Not like I picked you up or anything. He crosses his arms and let out a groan. Still sassy even in death, it would seem. I try and tell him I'm sorry for what I did. It was in the heat of the moment and a hard choice. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Doesn't make it any less stupid. That tour would fall apart without me. He looks around the place in confusion. Like all of a sudden something changed. Hey, it got quiet. Before you got here I could hear voices. I'm talking to like millions of them. It almost drove me insane, you know. So thanks for that, I guess. Now I can actually gather my thoughts. I do have a tail bow, actually. It's not like I'm naturally rude. I'm sure you'll stop judging if you hear. Much to my dismay, he starts to fade away. He seems to think this is my fault and panics. That perhaps I don't even want to hear his story. Hey, wait. I'm sorry for being a jerk. Let's talk. I didn't make any hasty decisions. He looks around frantically and reaches out towards me. I'll call out to him and reach forward and return. But I don't think our connection was strong enough. He fades away completely, staring at me as he cries. I try and tell him that it was not what I wanted, but I can't. Before I can even utter a word, he's gone for good. And I feel a large burst of speed again. Whether or not I wanted it, I was going back to Terra. Wish that Rook would stay and tell me his story. But now it's on a list of things I'll never know. But if I had the power, I'd bring him back. And I listened to everything he'd had to say. It's the least I could do for what I put him through. I never even got to apologize for what I did. It's with that newfound resolve that I entered Terra, coupled with my desire to carry out my duty as savior. In the next little while, everything would end, and hopefully my friends would live once more.